Hi, I'm DM Gallibond. In last week at the table, we look at what happened in the 3 actual play games I run on my Twitch channel, which you can find over at twitch.tv/Gallibond. On Thursday night, we began our Essentials campaign with the party members still in Laeral. They had decided that they had all had friends or relatives killed when a white dragon attacked the town at the Festival of Greengrass. After the funerals and a few days of discussion, the 6 adventurers are ready to set out to find where the dragon is and pay it back for the pain and suffering it has caused them and the entire town. We picked up in Laeral with several of the PCs seeking out information on the dragon that attacked the town at the Festival of Greengrass. Finn headed to the Adventurers Guild. He met a few caravanners, and they told him that white dragons prefer mountain lairs with icy caves, and said that they are generally accounted to be greedy, aggressive, and not terribly intelligent, at least as dragons go. Reports here said the latest sightings of the dragon were in areas surrounding the town of Phandalin, a bit further east and a little to the north. Hylan sought out information from the church. His contact there corroborated the same information about the sightings of the dragon. In addition, the church had a total casualty account from the Greengrass attack. 33 dead, including 18 women and children, and another 20 people injured by the dragon. Lots of people in the town are very angry, and even more are very scared that the dragon might come back. Abinadom completed the ritual to summon his familiar, a Fey template owl, whom he named Bandit. Later in the day, they met 2 caravan drovers named Mival Starag and Mara Shimov, who are hiring guards for their caravan. The caravan is to leave at first light on the next day, and the drovers are offering 10 gold pieces per day to go as far as Phandalin, which should take about 1 full day of travel. On the road to Phandalin, Abinadom tried to keep his gaze with Bandit as the owl flew high over the caravan. At one point when they turned off the north road onto the Tribor Trail, Abinadom saw a large caravan coming south on the main road, heading from the direction of Neverwinter toward Laeral. At one point, Bandit got very distracted by a tasty-looking mouse. During this time, another lookout in the group noticed a sneaky goblin to the side of the road. Dorzafir used the distraction as a chance to dip into the money chests of the caravanners and helped himself to a handful of coins, about 30 silver and about 7 gold. The party fought and defeated the goblins. Finn put 3 of the goblins to sleep with a spell, but one of them was almost immediately awakened by another goblin. At one point, Abinadom mixed up his spells and cast Dancing Lights instead of a damage-dealing spell, but the only goblin in the area was freaked out and hopped away from the lights without waking 2 of his fellows who were asleep nearby. Later, Finn used a Thunder Wave spell to fell another goblin, while the dwarves, the archer, and the rogue wounded or killed several others. Eventually, 2 goblins fled, leaving 2 goblins asleep on the battlefield and 3 others dead, bleeding out onto the grass. The party questioned one goblin captive, and it told them that the goblins had not seen the dragon. The goblin encampment is back in the foothills between the ambush point and the town of Laeral, the goblin said. It also said that the goblins had heard the dragon's roars in the night when it attacked Laeral. After questioning their captive, they discussed it with each other, and they all took a dark side point by killing the helpless goblin captive. Eventually, the caravan reached Phandalin. Upon arrival, the caravanners initially balked at the additional hazard pay they had agreed to on the road, until the townsfolk started gathering around and heard that the adventurers had fought off goblins. Then the caravanners kind of changed their story. To avoid causing a scene, the merchants paid all the PCs 17 gold instead of the 15 gold they had agreed to pay right after the goblin attack. And the PC's insight checks said that the extra 2 gold hush money, or the extra 2 gold was hush money to keep the PCs from giving away the caravanners as being a little bit miserly and to try to preserve the caravanners' reputation. Now that they're in Phandalin, the party headed to the Stonehill Inn for drinks, food, and lodging. The innkeeper there said that the townmaster has talked about forming an adventurers guild to deal with the dragon, but he's become a virtual shut-in due to fear that the dragon will attack the town. The townmaster is supposed to be giving badges of office to adventurers so that folks in town know who has been deemed trustworthy for doing adventuring deeds the town needs done. Eventually, the innkeeper brought a plate of cookies to the PCs. He said that the townmaster has a weakness for Mrs. Innkeeper's chocolate chip and peanut cookie recipe, and a plate of these should lure him out to talk to the PCs and let them get on with the job of finding out what needs doing. We ran out of time here and left off on the cliffhanger. Will the PCs eat the cookies themselves, or will they take them to the townmaster to lure him into hiring them for the Adventurers Guild? Well, you'll have to find out next Thursday at 8 p.m. by tuning in to Twitch. On Saturday, we played our 11th session of the History of D&D. This is the original D&D game where we are doing meta story building and meta world building all at the same time. This game takes place in a homebrew world that uses mostly the original D&D rule set with very few homebrew rules, and borrows the Greyhawk Pantheon for ease of reference materials. In this game, Siren has hit level 2. We started with a brief discussion of what he gained for reaching level 2, and in the early editions of the game, that's really not very much. For the elf, it's more like getting a few hit points and another spell slot. The discussion with the Gnolls made it clear that the party would face pretty steep opposition. Siren really wanted to continue exploring, but the others persuaded him they should probably withdraw and regroup. The Gnolls agreed to leave the complex and not have to answer to Bargle or anyone else, and they would go find their own place to live in the forest. Once the Gnolls had collected their things, they began to show the PCs a secret way out of the complex that they know. Along the way to this secret entrance, the party heard the sound of weapons being drawn, and therefore they were not surprised when bugbears tried to ambush them. The battle was joined as 5 bugbears attacked. Siren slew one, and the Gnolls cheered and went into a bloodlust frenzy. That made Siren get a little cocky until a bugbear hit him real good with a short sword. Fortunately, one of the Gnolls gave Siren a potion of healing, and the elf kept fighting as the others nervously indicated they thought it would be a good time to retreat. Eventually, the party heard the sound of booted feet from 2 different directions, and the call of a bugbear was sent and a call of a bugbear that was sent for help was answered by the call of more bugbears and human voices. Now we can see here that the additional enemies seemed to be coming from both the east and the south, and that was enough to get Siren to realize it was time to fall back. He told the gnolls to begin retreating, and he acted as the rear guard since he has the best AC of anyone in the group. But the last living bugbear smote Siren, and the elf fell, seemingly lifeless, into the arms of a gnoll ally. As that gnoll began pulling the elf away from the battle, he was also cut down, and yet another gnoll grabbed the fallen elf and began dragging him away towards safety. Eventually, the party made it outside to the ground level, and as they boiled up the stairs with their gnoll allies, they found their retainers were back from Dedale, along with reinforcements. There were fully 20 guards from Dedale, along with Zert, Elmo, and Brother Tuck from the temple. Tuck rushed to cast healing on Siren and gave a potion of healing to one of the badly wounded gnolls, who is apparently now on the same side? Well, at least maybe for the time being. Huh? So the soldiers chased the party up the stairs and were caught in the ambush of town guard arrows. Many fell and others surrendered, until a small knot of elite soldiers guarding a black-clad priest named Lareth came into view. Lareth cast Continual Darkness, a priest spell that engulfed nearly all the party and their allies from Dedale in a globe of magical darkness 60 feet across. Siren stumbled out of the darkness and slew one of Lareth's guards. Then before he could attack the priest, Lareth uttered a single word, "Die!" and Siren fell to the ground unmoving. Brother Tuck was able to remove the darkness with a continual light spell, and the militia forces made quick work of subduing and disarming the priest and his lackeys. It turns out that Lareth's spell on Siren was simply a command spell, and it only put the elf to sleep. The party has cleaned out the humanoid occupants of the moat house and now needs to explore the chambers where they lived and learn what secrets they can. We ran out of time here, and we decided to do the interrogation of the prisoners and the disposition of the gnolls at the start of our next session. Come watch at noon next Saturday on Twitch to see what happens. On Sundays at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we play a 5e game called The Walker of Waterdeep, which crosses the lore streams between Magic the Gathering and D&D 5e. This week we played our 33rd session, and the game went really well. But a technical issue known as a PEBCAC error prevented us from capturing the DM and player's audio. Kwayothe pulled a dagger and appeared to threaten the host, Ekene-Afa, and the party members. When Ekene-Afa indicated that Kwayothe's use of demonic body servants would be known to the rest of the merchant princes, Kwayothe laughed and said she would soon be greater than any merchant prince. The two body servants, Ixis and Indar, used their etherealness ability and vanished to another plane, leaving their mistress seemingly abandoned and alone. Kwayothe took the dagger she held and plunged it into her own forearm. As her blood flowed, a portal opened and demonic creatures boiled out of it. 4 Barlgura leaped through the portal and moved to attack Barok Clanghammer, seemingly realizing that the dwarf was the biggest threat in the room. Then a master of cruelties emerged from the portal, and it stabbed Kwayothe through the heart with its large black spear, and then apparently absorbed something of her life force, making itself even more powerful. As she died, Kwayothe screamed and cried out, "This is not how it's supposed to be! No!" But she was slain, and her corpse fell to the floor. Oyahoosa immediately leaped into action and landed several blows on the Master of Cruelties, including multiple stunning strikes, which incapacitated the demon and kept it from being able to take any actions on its turn. This was the decisive turning point of the battle. Barok Clanghammer used one of his draconic breath weapons to weaken 3 of the 4 Barlgura. This greatly limited their effectiveness in the rest of the fight. Zandri unleashed a furious set of attacks which bloodied and frightened the Master of Cruelties. Imagine that. A demonic enemy that is not immune to fear. Gallibond leaped to the attack, and his mighty blow nearly felled the Master of Cruelties, leaving it still helpless and ready to topple. Adamant eventually slew 2 of the Barlgura with castings of inflict wounds. Barok Clanghammer slew one of the Barlgura with its physical attacks, and nearly ripped another one down, leaving it badly bloodied for Gallibond to finish off. Ekene-Afa even grabbed her trusty battle-axe from the wall and laid into the Master of Cruelties. Then she turned her weapon on the last Barlgura, finishing it off. At the end of the battle, the demons and the portal dagger all dissolved to ichor. The only thing left of the enemies was Kwayothe's corpse. On one of Kwayothe's fingers, the party found a ring, which they later identified as a ring of fire resistance. With all the stressful events of the past few days, Zandri decided she needed to get a message to Silkala back in Waterdeep. So she led several of the PCs to the Temple of Sune to purchase a scroll of sending. Now, it should be noted that Adamant has sending available to him, but he did not have that spell prepared for the day, and Zandri decided she couldn't wait to send the message to Silkala. So the next morning, later that night, Adamant used the scroll of sending on Zandri's behalf, sending her composed message to Silkala. When Silkala replied, he wrote down her response and gave it to Zandri for her eyes alone. She did not share the content of the message with the group, but it made her very happy. When they returned to Ekene-Afa's home, they found members of the city watch there, summoned by Ekene-Afa and her servants. The city guard were taking statements and investigating the death of Merchant Prince Kwayothe. As the guards wrapped up their statements, Ekene-Afa told the party that the watch would guard the dead Merchant Prince's villa overnight, and that she would take them there to look for any additional clues about her ties to the Githyanki before the official city investigation could arrive the next day. Later that night, Gallibond received a sending from his sponsor in Waterdeep. She indicated that Lord Berithro Tharlavar had come around asking if she had heard from Gallibond. Tharlavar has an odd way of smiling that was disconcerting when he told her that his boss was very concerned that he had not heard from Gallibond. Gallibond responded to her saying, "Please find a way to leave Waterdeep for now. For the safety of you and Pip," which is her bodyguard, "don't trust anybody. You might not be safe there." As she slept that night, Zandri had a dream about an old lover whose romance had burned hot and faded fast. In her dream, she was kissing this old lover when his face suddenly turned into the face of a demon, and she woke screaming from her nightmare. In the morning, Adamant cast sending to Lady Silverhand in Waterdeep. He said, "Lady Silverhand, our mission coincides with Barok Clanghammer's. Githyanki seem to have taken over the Hrakamar mines. We will set out soon to investigate. Signed, Adamant. For her part, Lady Silverhand's response from Waterdeep was swift. That is good news. We have confirmed Githyanki presence in Aussie. Seems they have driven out some inhabitants of the deep interior. Expect recall soon. Ekene-Afa took the party to Kwayothe's house after breakfast. While there, they discovered several damning pieces of evidence. Xandri discovered records of a bill of sale to a General Izanad of the Githyanki. He had paid her the sum of 10,000 gold pieces for enough insect repellent to protect a small army for a 2-month march into the jungles of Chult. Notes on the bill of sale also indicated that the Githyanki were headed to Hrakamar. Finally, the payment included special compensation because Kwayothe's demonic body servants, Ixis and Indar, were to act as spies for the Githyanki in Port Nyanzaru. Thardrum found Kwayothe's burn book, where she kept a list of all the grudges she held against her fellow merchant princes and other leading members of Port Nyanzaru society. This journal included a pact that she had made with the Githyanki, promising Kwayothe a position of authority when they established their kingdom in this world. They also gave her a dagger, matching the description of the one she pulled on the party the night before. That dagger is a sign of the Githyanki bargain with her. And she wrote in her journal that she was told, quote, "My blood will cause the dagger to open a portal that will bring allies to my aid in a time of dire need. None shall stop me from ruling Port Nyanzaru now." Well, none except your false allies. Yeah, that was kind of a nasty trick they played on her. But nobody shed any tears for her. Upon finding out all of this information, Adamant cast sending again to update Waterdeep. Adamant's next sending to Lady Silverhand said, Through recent investigation, we have confirmed the information in previous sending. We will make preparations post-haste for further investigating. We'll keep you updated. Lady Silverhand's response again came swiftly. Acknowledged. Good work. Be quick about it. The Blackstaff will be coming for you within a 10-day. With the knowledge they had gained, the party expedited and accelerated their plans to leave the city of Port Nyanzaru. Ekene-Afa offered to purchase some supplies and potions the party thought they would need. Now, it's important to note that she profusely kept apologizing to them for being attacked the night before while they were guests in her home. And Ekene-Afa promised to have the supplies delivered to Lord Dagalt's gift at the docks. As the session ended, the party got underway, heading toward Hrakamar. They anticipated the trip would take them less than a full day, and they would likely arrive at their destination the next morning. What's going to happen? Tune in next week to The Walker of Waterdeep, and you'll find out.